Hey guys, how are you? We're at July 2nd, 2018. Where I am, it's extremely hot. I don't have air conditioning because of my health condition. Air conditioning actually makes it worse. So right now, I'm trying to figure out exactly what to do. I could do central air, but I don't have central air. I could do, like the wall units. Those, for some reason, are better than window units, but I can't cut a hole in the wall. I don't own the place. So if anybody has any ideas between window unit and central air, something that I could do that would not affect me in a negative way, please let me know. Because right now it's sweltering, and that's why I look the way I do. Okay, I have everything kind of closed off. The curtains I have there are sheer, so they're still letting in the sun. It's pretty hot in here, but I still think it's hotter outside. But anyway, okay, July 2nd, we just had a full moon not too long ago, the 28th, I believe, of June. So we're still in that energy. Now, like I've said before, God can do anything at any time. He doesn't have to use full moon. He doesn't have to use new moon. He doesn't care if Mercury's retrograde or anything else. However, the full moon does provide a certain energy. So right now is a really good time to see what you've put out there come to pass. So, and honestly, the way that he's set things up, we're here to glorify him. And we glorify him through living our lives the way that he would have us live our lives, and to show others not only about, of course, the gospel, but about while we're living here, how we can be at peace. Okay, manifestation absolutely happens. It's part of how everything kind of comes together. The book of life and the game of life and how to play it is a really good book if you ever want to read it. If your faith is already strong, it's better to read that, because the way she puts things, I just think if you come from a place of good faith, you'll understand it better. So anyway, right now is a really good time to put things out there. And I've noticed, I think I've mentioned this before, through several of my clients and even friends, groups that I do, when I'm talking, I talk about energy regularly. I talk about supernatural events. I talk about God. I talk about angels. And this is the world that I've always lived in. I came into this world that way, and I believe all children do, but I never left for whatever reason. And I believe it's just part of my gifts that God gave me to help people. God has given us all gifts, even if you don't recognize them yet. God has given you gifts to use to help people. So that's part of manifesting. Now, before we even start with these steps, I want you to know that we can manifest anything at any time, and we do it regularly, whether we know it or not. Most people manifest the negative very, very easily. And why is that? Well, first of all, we give it a lot of energy. And second, and that which you feed grows. So if you give it a lot of energy, it's going to grow. If you're giving the negative thoughts a lot of energy, that's what grows. A lot of people might say, hey, I've been trying to manifest this job, and I think about it all the time. I give it a lot of energy, and it's not happening. Well, you could be actually repulsing it and keep it and actually feeding the negative if you're thinking from a place of lack. I don't have that job. Why don't I have that job? Why haven't they called back yet? Should I call them? What should I do? That kind of stuff. So now you're actually thinking about the negative, so you're feeding that, and that's growing. And we tend to do that naturally. We tend to believe a lot easier that we're not going to get that six-figure salary. We're not going to have the perfect relationship. We're not going to mend fences, whatever it is, So that's one way that we manifest. Another thing that we do is we tend to manifest things that are not for us. So you can manifest the negative. Also, you can manifest, like, say you really want a job, this specific job, and to you, it's perfect. It's in the right location. It's the right amount of money. It's what you want to do. And you disregard the negatives. You disregard that you would rather be doing a different part of the job. You don't really care for the person that works there. You don't like the ethics of the company, and you kind of put those aside. Well, maybe that's not the job for you. Don't ever, ever sacrifice anything that God puts out there. So don't sacrifice your faith. Don't sacrifice, your morals according to Him. That's not for you, then that's not right. But a lot of times what we do is we want it so bad. We might say, well, that's the money that I need, so I'm willing to deal with this, this, and this. And you manifest it, and you get it, and you hate the job. Or you fall in love with somebody, and you want this relationship so bad, and you manifest it, and it turns out that person is just so not right for you. And he or she won't go away because you've manifested this, That's another thing. Don't manipulate people ever, 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 ever. I mean, manifestation is kind of like manipulating the energy to make things happen faster than they normally would, or to change gears, But manipulating people is possible, not ethical, not good, will always lead to a negative. Always. And remember, sometimes, if you get something and it goes against God's principles, if it goes against your morals, if it goes against ethics, it may look good initially. It's going to lead to a negative. The way God presents things is sometimes they take really slow, or sometimes they come, a lot of times, especially when it's Him, they come in a very bizarre way, totally supernatural, because He's trying to show you that it's Him. And they may come through a hardship, they may not, like with the job, you may not get the money that you deserve first, but you ultimately do. So if it's right and it's coming from God and you're manifesting in alignment with God, it may not start out the way that you think, but it will always end in a positive. The opposite is true if it's coming from a negative place. So just remember that, okay? And remember, there's a reason why the Bible says to take every negative thought captive. And that's because it will shift the energy and actually put you in a place that you don't want to be. You could be going down a perfectly aligned road and everything's going right. And you, through your lack of action, through your negative thought, through your obsession, all of those things, or, lack of action, wrong action, obsession is the biggest one. A failure to let it go. You could totally shift things and they go in a totally opposite direction. Now, if it's supposed to happen, it'll come back around again, but that could take years. I mean, it doesn't always happen instantaneously, okay? So we need to pay attention. All right. So, number one, you want to be in perfect alignment. How do you do that? How do you know you're in perfect alignment? Well, first of all, stay in faith. Pray. Stay close to God. The closer you are to God, the more you're going to recognize if you're in perfect alignment with Him. The more you're going to recognize when you're being fooled. The more you're going to recognize, oh, wait a minute. Maybe this person or this job is not the right one. Okay? One way you can look at it is, what did He put in your heart? What's your passion? What are you good at? Are you really, and it doesn't matter, say we're talking about making money. Don't worry if what you're good at makes money traditionally. Don't worry about that. Just what are you good at? What are your gifts? What are you naturally good at? Are you good with people? Are you good at music? Are you good at cooking? What's your passion? What do you really care about? These are things He's put in there. And this is what we should be focused on, no matter what it is that we're looking for, whether it's money, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's health, whatever it is, we need to pay attention to what is there, okay? Next is what you're looking for. Is it hurting anybody else? Does what you want actually, say, we'll use the job again. Will somebody get fired for you to get that job? And don't, we tend to make excuses going, well, that person deserves to get fired. And maybe they do. Not up to us, not my business, not up to me to cross that line, okay? If that person deserves to get fired and I'm supposed to take that job, I pray that it happens in a way that everybody's okay with it. Maybe that person does deserve to get fired and needs to learn a lesson, but that's not up to me to make that happen, okay? Check your motives. What are your motives? Is it all about you? Now, even whether it's a relationship, whether it's money, is it all about you? We need to realize, yes, we're the center of our universe, but we are not the center of the universe. We're here to help each other. And whatever we manifest, there's nothing wrong with having stuff. There's nothing wrong with having peace. When you have the peace of Christ, you can help other people. If you have money, you can help other people. If you have things, you can help other people. You see what I'm saying? If you're in a good place, you can help other people. But if it's all about you, one thing I've noticed, people that are all about them, their view is skewed. Somebody could say to them, I'm unhappy with this because my feelings were hurt because of this. And immediately they go back to, well, what about what I did? And what about me? And what, I didn't, me. It doesn't work that way. First of all, you're not even hearing, so you're not learning, you're not growing. It's not all about us. When you love somebody, when you truly love somebody, it's unconditional love does exist, and you want what's best for that person, even if it's not what you feel you want. You know what I mean? You want what's best for that person, even if it doesn't work for you. You know what I'm saying? And we should always be walking in unconditional love. Unconditional love of ourselves. We need to learn how to forgive ourselves, which will lead us to forgive others. And if we learn how forgiving God is, and we realize how forgiving God is, and that He's forgiven us, it's so much easier to forgive others. Okay, so first of all, it's not all about you. Make sure you're in alignment, which means keep your vibration up. Stay close to God. You will less likely to be fooled that way. Okay, number 2, walk in faith. You got to believe this stuff can happen. You can't make 6 figures if you don't believe you can. That's why a lot of people will say to try to manifest a smaller thing first. It's not because you can't manifest the bigger. It's not because that's impossible. It's not because you have to go step by step by step and that's the way things work. No, you could. You could manifest whatever it is you desire. But do you believe you can? That's another reason we manifest the negative so much easier, because we believe it. We believe it so much easier, I'll always be poor. My family was always poor. See, that's another thing. Through this belief, through our faith, you might think you're walking in faith, but you're walking in faith of the negative, right? My family's always been poor. We've always had heart disease. The region that I live in is a poor region. All of us in my ethnic group deal with this, so it starts individually, and we can expand it to family, we can expand it to community, we can expand it to region, we can expand it to even countries. It's like collective belief system is going to bring you, whatever it is that you're feeding, so whenever you start doubting, so whatever it is that you want to manifest, put it out there. Be specific, God cares about everything that we care about. Don't worry about being superficial. But if it's all about you, if it's selfish motives, if it's going to hurt anyone, then you might want to check that, because you can still manifest it, but it's not going to work out in your favor. I mean, in the end, it's not. It's going to become a negative. So if you've done all that and now you put it out there, believe it can happen. Truly walk in belief. Faith, gratitude, belief. Those 3 are just, you need them. You need them. And imagine the possibilities. So every time a doubt comes in, you say, oh, I believe it. My family's always been broke. Oop, capture that. Capture that thought. And while you're paying attention to this, you'll realize now you're training yourself. It only takes 21 days to train yourself to a new habit, and you will train yourself to catch every negative thought, every negative word spoken to you. Don't accept it. Take it and speak a positive, true word. So I can manifest anything I want. I am a child of God. I am loved. I am cared for. I am a kingdom citizen. Whatever it is, but remove that doubt, okay? Number 3, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. See, if you're really walking like something, if you knew something was going to happen, the chair you sit in is going to hold you. You just know that. You don't think about it. You don't go up to the chair. Well, maybe you do if it's like a nasty chair, but just a regular chair in general. You don't walk up to it and go, geez, I wonder if that chair can hold my weight. Wonder how it was built. Wonder how long ago it was built. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it can hold my weight. I think I'll sit down in it. But will it break? I mean, you don't think about those things, right? You just know there's a chair, I can sit down in it. You don't think about it. So it's there, you see it, you let it go. You don't constantly worry about the chair. You don't get up from the chair and go, geez, I hope I didn't make it worse, and now next time I sit in it, it's going to break. When you do that, you actually build a wall from whatever it is you want to you getting it. So you've created that block. If we're talking about a relationship or anything that involves another person, a job, getting paid, anything that involves another person, you are actually putting it out there. People are picking up your vibes whether they know it or not. And you are pushing that person further away. You're feeding the negativity, you're pushing them further away. So you're not only creating a block, you are actually throwing what you want away. Okay, so you need to let it go. And people say, well, how can I let it go when I want it so desperately, or when I need it so desperately? It comes back to believing. If we're talking about relationship, let's put it this way. I believe that I have, and always say it in present tense because time, and that's a whole, if I get into it, the video is going to be way too long, but just say it in present tense. I have the perfect relationship. I have the person that God has chosen for me, and I choose to love unconditionally, and that person chooses to love me unconditionally, and we walk in faith in a godly, loving relationship. I grow, he or she grows, and we walk in harmony and peace, and we are better people for it. If that person happens to be the person that you hope it is, wonderful. But if you just focus on that one person and it's not the person you're supposed to be with, you're playing a dangerous game. Okay, so you know what? God knows. And God knows how much you care about a certain person. So you want it to be the perfect relationship, and you can say, okay, if so-and-so is not that perfect person, I let them go in love, and I wish them the best, and mean it. And God will actually resolve whatever issues there are between you and heal that. So you'll have that. And you'll know deep in your heart that this is not the person for you, but yet you are surrounded by love, and you're in a healed, not a broken relationship, okay? Pay attention. Pay attention to the signs around you. Number 4, pay attention. Pay attention to different opportunities that open up. Pay attention to the people that come into your life, even if it seems like a mistake. Oh, wrong number, but this is, the job, it's a company of the job that you want, but we got the wrong, well, maybe God's trying to tell you, hey, that company's hiring. You know what I mean? I'm just throwing out examples, but we tend to not pay attention to minor details because we say, oh, that didn't mean anything. Now, I don't want you to be obsessive and go, well, that meant this and that meant... Don't try to figure it out. Don't, because then you're creating another block. Don't try to, figure it all out. Just walk in gratitude, belief, and faith, and know that it's coming. And I know this sounds simple because it is simple, but it's not that easy. And I understand that. I'm not trying to talk down to you. I'm trying to say, listen, this is the way it happens, okay? If something negative happens, because we do live in a fallen world, people do die unexpectedly. Disease does happen. And, I really get upset when these gurus or these highly enlightened people say, well, you're sick because you don't believe, or so-and-so died because you don't believe. No, hogwash, okay? We live in a fallen world where we have an enemy that is purposely trying to bring us down. So we need to be aware of that as well, and he will bring us down through deception. He'll bring us down through other people and their negative comments and their deception. He will bring us down through pain. He will try to make us believe that God does not exist, that manifestation does not exist. He will try to make us believe that we are unworthy of receiving anything. He will take whatever soul wound you have, whatever ammunition he has, and believe me, he knows what it is. He'll use it against you. Okay, so realize that. Pay attention. Pay attention. Number 5, take action. when some opportunity comes up, take action. You know, if God, you know, sends the perfect person into your life, but you refuse to even talk to that person, well, whose fault is that? Your manifestations are going to happen. You need to act on what's given to you. Okay? Like, say you choose to, you want to manifest, you need to pay a bill and you want that money right away. And you put it out there. And you, I mean, I don't know, it could be anything as simple as playing the lottery if you do that. And I'm not promoting that, I'm just saying if you do that, to a side job, to somebody calling you that owed you money, to, you know, somebody saying, hey, we're going to give you this even though you don't deserve it. Stay open to all realms of possibility, because if some of that happens and you go, oh no, I manifested it, so I'm waiting. Well, that was just your opportunity to get it. So you got to act, okay? Another thing, please keep your mouth shut, okay? There's a reason for that. Keep your mouth shut. We all, well, I guess we all don't, but if you're blessed enough, you have one or two, maybe three people that you're really, really close to. They love you unconditionally. You love them unconditionally. And choose who you're going to talk to. Choose who you're going to open up to. One or two people, and that's it. And just because somebody loves you, they may not be that person. Okay, for instance, the reason I'm saying this, okay, because say you open up to a family member that is really concerned about you, and this is your person, but they always come back with something negative. They always come back with, oh no, don't do that because that might hurt you. Or no, I don't, you know, maybe that's not the person you want to talk to because they are actually creating negative. The enemy could be using that person to bring you down. Don't go for that. No, it's too risky. Don't do that. Where that could have been your opportunity. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody in your life that understands the concept of energy, that loves you, that will call you out on your crap if you're if you're causing difficulty, if you're shifting gears, that will be completely honest with you, that will also, you know, encourage you. You don't want anybody negative, but you do want somebody honest that, like I said, will call you out, but also with encouragement, and you be the same for that other person. That's one reason, because like I said, people will actually create negative, it's almost like an energy you get caught up in because they love you. They're not doing it on purpose. Another reason is we do have an enemy that listens, and he's listening, and he knows your fears, he knows what you want, he knows what's hurting you, and he's going to play on that, and he's going to use other people. You might have somebody call you up and go, hey, by the way, you know, blah, 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 and you're like, wow, is it a sign? But you've told everybody, so no, the enemy's using this other person to bring you down, to make you miss that opportunity. Okay, so keep your mouth shut. We all need to vent. We all need to talk to people. Pick one or two, maybe three very close people that understand how energy works, that will call you out on your stuff, that will encourage you, that will help guide you, lead you in the right direction, and speak to them only. Other than that, very generic. You know, you don't have to lie to people, but you don't have to share everything either. If you're running your mouth, you're giving people ammunition, you're giving the enemy ammunition, you're changing the energy, you're shifting it, and you're causing your own blocks. So stop it, okay? So there we go with 6 different steps. I hope that helps you a little bit. We're right in the moment. Manifest something today. I showed you the 2-cup method. Try doing that too. Jump into a different life today, okay? Love other people. Give when you think you can't. Give just a little bit more, okay? Walk in gratitude. That's a way to show God you have gratitude, when you're willing to give just a little bit more. Love yourself, love others, forgive yourself, forgive others. Walk in belief, faith, and gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. All right, guys, I hope to talk to you soon. Happy full moon, happy July. I'm doing 15% off this week of phone sessions if you book today, which is Monday, July 2nd. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.